and that I went live. Hope you guys are doing well. This is Isa, your host. And yeah, today, wait, why is there an echo? Wow, that's weird. I see why there's an echo. Okay, echo fixed. I guess I had the placeholder for this open on my computer, and so it started playing, which is really interesting. It's never been something that's happened on Periscope. But yeah, I hope you guys are well, and make sure you say hello so I know you're here in the chat if you're watching here on Haps. Also, please let me know how the quality is on your side. How does it sound? Because I'm trying out for the first time this new sound feature that Haps has to increase the quality of the audio. I also have at some point I will try this setup that I have not yet tested or tried. Maybe I'll do a just for fun broadcast to test this out sometime this weekend. But I have this whole I bought this piece so I can connect my fancy recorder to my phone. I've never done that before, so I'll try that out in a future broadcast. Ahoy! Can't find the notification setting. Hello, new DRKM21. Hello. Hi, Kobe. Hello, Lee. Good to see you guys today. Okay, today, hopefully, looks great on Periscope so far, says David. We'll check it out on Haps in a bit. Cool. Chasing the Globe Dan says, hello to one of my favorite channels. I love it. More bugs, please. Yes, a little tricky to bring you bugs in the winter, especially when I'm not by the collection. Oh, so I'll give you live breaking news that our one little tarantula here, the Brazilian dwarf beauty, is currently having lunch. Maybe you are having lunch too. So cheers to lunchtime if you're on the East Coast. Yeah, hopefully she. So this is where the I'm sexist when it comes to tarantula part comes in, because I'm always when they're young saying I hope it's a she, and I will explain that a little bit more in a bit of why I want them. I hope that they're she's when I get baby tarantulas. Thanks for the super hearts, guys. Thanks so much. Hi, Brett. Hope you're doing well. Hello, David. Good to see you. Audio and video is great. Thanks so much for that feedback, Dan. Okay. Yeah, so here's a little opening act, I suppose. Our little Brazilian blue, which I got as a wedding gift last year. You're in the East Coast, Australia. Wow, very cool. I hope to go there one day, go surfing. I'm hoping for baby tarantulas. Not hoping for baby tarantulas yet. This broadcast is about an update on Fluffy. So if you've been following my broadcasts for a while, every now and then I show Fluffy. I've posted about Fluffy on my TikTok and also I think on one of my Instagram stories. Fluffy is a very fluffy tarantula, as you will soon see. Fluffy is living in here, and I took apart Fluffy's enclosure a little bit so we can get a closer look at Fluffy. But I was inspired to broadcast about Fluffy today because when I came over to Fluffy, Fluffy was like doing some interesting behavior in the corner of his cage, and I didn't really know what was going on, so I opened the cage to see what was happening, and when I opened it, Fluffy just went whoop and flipped right over on his back, and I was like, okay, are you okay? Do you need food? What's going on here, Fluffy? I'll flip the broadcast so you can look at Fluffy too as I speak about Fluffy. I have my macro lens here, and I do wonder also if the macro lens will affect the broadcast. And here, of course, is another fluffy animal. This is Mika. She's like, what's going on? She wants to crash the bug scope. You're not a bug. Maybe I can get her some antenna. What? Fluffy husband. Oh yeah, I'm gonna come. Ramon, if you know Ramon, my husband is like, I have fluffy hair too. So going with the theme of today, fluffy. You'll see why Fluffy is called Fluffy in one moment. Hi, Martin. How are you? Gary says, tarantula. Not many insects have dances named after them. That's right. There's a whole dance called the tarantula. Is that from Spain? Somewhere in Europe, where it's a That'd be a fun dance to learn. Sometime, maybe one of these months, I'll have like a themed insects and spiders in human culture. That'd be really fun to do. All right, so I'm gonna put my macro lens on. And thank you, it's very cozy. Almost too warm inside. Mika looks different to being indifferent to being on camera. Yeah, she's a funny cat. I call her my fringe cat because she always likes to be just out of arm's reach. And then if I'm doing a Zoom meeting or a video chat, she'll often hop up and like walk in front of the camera when I'm like not really paying attention or when she's like, yeah, it's just a cute but kind of funny cat, right, Nikki? She's 14 years old. Yeah, she's had her fair share of eating insects, being insect food with fleas and such, but she's all clear now, but in the past. Yep. All right, I'll let you go, Mickey. Go, go, go. Okay, now Fluffy. All right. So, um, okay. Chat French for cat. What does that mean? Okay, so here's Fluffy's enclosure. Oh, here is the kind of enclosure that Fluffy likes to hide out in, and right now Fluffy is on the bottom of the tank. And hopefully you can see why we call Fluffy Fluffy. Hi, Fluffy. It's Fluffy. All you can see are Fluffy's legs for the most part. So very fluffy. She's a Trinidad chevron, once again. Scientific name is Salmopaeus cambridgei. And of course, they are native to Trinidad and Tobago, those islands over there. They're arboreal, which is why I have, that's right, David E. Yep, insecticide on my cat. Poor kitty. But also we try to keeping her inside helps with eliminating and keeping any fleas at bay too. So here's Fluffy. Fluffy is a boy, and I'm sexist about tarantulas. I want them to be girls because the boys don't live as long. So hence the title of the broadcast. The male tarantulas tend to live only a fraction of the lives that the females are able to live. Brett's asking if Fluffy is edible. Not that I would. And I bet you Fluffy is edible. Even though Fluffy, and that's actually brings up a good point, where even though tarantulas and spiders all have different combinations of venom and different potencies of venom, they also, just because something is venomous doesn't mean it's poisonous. So you can oftentimes eat them, but it's just getting injected is the part that's bad. Although I'd rather, Fluffy is definitely a friend. Nice view. Oh, I'll let Fluffy know. Nice view award. So I'll say hello to Fluffy by shaking Fluffy's hand, not with my finger, because Fluffy does have potent venom. Fluffy is a venomous, medically significant tarantula. One thing that's cool though about Fluffy, oh, there we go, giving us a nice threat display. Fluffy's like, back off. One thing that's cool about Fluffy as a tarantula, the Trinidad chevrons, is that they have venom that is used to do research on strokes, on preventing and helping to remedy or medicine for strokes. I don't know the details, but because spiders make their own venoms, they don't sequester them from what they eat. So what I mean by that is like monarch butterflies, they get their poison from what they eat, and poison dart frogs, they get their poison from what they eat. So therefore poison dart frogs that are in captivity, they're not poisonous because they're not being fed food that has toxins. They're just being fed wingless fruit flies, which are totally edible to anybody. Yeah, so what's different is spiders, they do make their own venoms. I'm going to see if I can flip this around to get the camera on the other side. Did that work? It worked. Okay. Now I'll get a little closer. There you are, the face of a reared up, threatening tarantula. And actually, this is a great view to show you what tells me that Fluffy is a boy. So Fluffy is a boy, which means, once again, I'm sad that Fluffy is a boy. I'm mourning it. Sorry all the males and guys out there who are like, what? But it's because Fluffy's only going to live 2 to 3 years total. If Fluffy was a girl, Fluffy would live to be about, like, at least a dozen years old, given proper care. But because Fluffy is a boy, Fluffy will only live to be like a fourth or less that of the lifespan of a female. Hi. Hey, Carrie. Good to see you. Gary says my mom got mad when I brought home some eel meat because she had a moray as a pet. That's so cool. As a pet. Wow. There are poison dart frogs in Suriname and maybe other places too. Sweet. Are you a fan of frog TikTok too? I have not seen frog TikTok, but I imagine it's pretty awesome. I did post a TikTok on my TikTok page of a frog, which I thought was cute. It's a very simple one, but the frog like blinks its eye, or like I forget what it does right now because I haven't watched it for a while. I posted it like a year ago, but it like blinks its eye with the beat of the music. Okay. Oh, thanks, David. I will check out that oil. Yeah, maybe some tea tree oil will be helpful for that too. Why do their legs have 4 segments? That's the general body plan for most. I'm actually gonna put this back here just in case Fluffy needs a place to escape to. I will put Fluffy's tube of bark over here in the corner of the cage. Okay. And I'm also going to try to get a little closer. Also, my phone's getting really warm, so I'm wondering how it's going to hold up with the broadcast. Okay, so do you guys see the part up here? Let's see. Fluffy's not going to be happy, but see this part up here? Those are the palps, the pedipalps, and that part is what tells me that Fluffy is a boy. Those are the pedipalps. And also what's really cool to see are the iridescent legs right here. Those iridescent legs are part of that threat display. Uh-oh, Fluffy is relaxing or readjusting. What is the fuzz called? I can see it quivering if I zoom in. Haps app, very neat. Nice. Well, the fuzz, we call them setae or hairs. And the fuzz just helps them so much with senses. It's like we have big eyes and really strong eyes as humans. We rely on sight so much, and they rely on vibration so much. And what's great at sensing vibrations? All these hairs on their body. It's like a big giant eye, a big giant ear, a big giant sensory system to understand her world. Because you can see, we can't even see his eyes right now. We can't see Fluffy's eyes. Fluffy's eyes are totally covered by Fluffy's feet. Because that's not what Fluffy relies on to navigate the world. Okay, so right here on the pedipalps, they're kind of swollen, and right in there are the organs. It's a swirly, like spindly organ that's used to mate and pass on genetic information to the female. And so oftentimes when spiders mate, it's a really delicate process. They have to basically give the female like hug around her body to reach the place where they deposit the genetic material for mating to create more spiders. So it's really interesting to me how small the chelicera are. Right there, that's the chelicera. And those chelicera are connected to Fluffy's fangs. So I'm gonna touch Fluffy a little more and just see what Fluffy does. Fluffy's scared. Fluffy's backing up. So even though Fluffy has a lot of venom, doesn't mean that she's like out to get me. She really just wants to, I'm so used to saying she out of hope. Doesn't mean that he's out to get me. He just wants to be left alone and ideally would run away and resorts to biting as a last resort. And mostly for prey, to subdue prey. That's what really it's for. Let me get in focus. Oh, it's focusing on the wrong thing. So yeah, thank you, Fluffy. You can kind of see Fluffy's eye from this view. And I'll try the macro lens to see if we can get an even deeper view with this. We can look at those hairs up close. So beautiful, beautiful hairy legs you have, dear Fluffy sir. And on each legs, they end, hi Junkanoo Media, each of those legs end with some tarsal claws, which help with grip. And these Trinidad chevron spiders have amazing grip because they are arboreal. So thank you, Fluffy, for joining us on the broadcast today. Let's see. I was trying to feed Fluffy, but Fluffy was not interested in eating before. All right. And actually, I'm a little worried because Fluffy does seem a bit lethargic to me. I hope that's not the end of Fluffy's time. That'd make me sad, but that's also why I'm biased and wish that Fluffy was a girl. Flipping the camera. Flipping the camera takes some time on Haps. Like, it's kind of frozen for me, but I think I flipped it. There we go. I did. So yeah, that's Fluffy. And how's it going, Junkanoo Media? Here, let's watch actually a little more while Fluffy walks into wherever Fluffy's. Oops, I just turned my. Yeah, there's Fluffy. I've never actually touched Fluffy before either. But thanks for joining us today, Fluffy, and I wish you as long as a life as your genetics allow you, because you're such a cool spider. Thanks. Yeah, this is Fluffy's habitat. Has some live plants, 2 different species. This one species is really taking over. There's a cork open piece of bark back there, and I also have this other piece as well, which I'd put in. But I don't really know if Fluffy likes this. I'll probably put it back in just because. But I've had Fluffy now for. I love your tarantulas. Oh, thanks, Lemon Minty. All right, I've had Fluffy. Well, it's so bright and sunny. I'm getting warm in the sun too, which is kind of nice in January. I've had Fluffy for about a year and a half now, and because they only live, these male Trinidad chevrons only live to be 2 or 3 years old, I am concerned. And so when I found Fluffy today and Fluffy flopped over on his back, I was like, no, don't throw me, Fluffy. But Fluffy seems okay, but kind of lethargic. What would be Fluffy's natural habitat? Great question. In Fluffy's natural habitat, Fluffy would be up in the trees, and let's see. I'm not super familiar with like what their forest looks like, but maybe if I look up like Trinidad forest, I guess a moist forest, maybe something like. I guess you guys can look this up too, but yeah, when I just looked up Trinidad forest, maybe something like this, but yeah, I'm not super familiar to tell the truth, but actually I'll look into it because it does definitely help to know as much as you possibly can about the native habitat of an organism that you have, so you can try to replicate it as much as possible so that they're comfortable. And sometimes I've even, with some of my critters, like my chameleon, I've even tried to replicate the weather. Like when it rains, I'm like, all right, gonna add some extra moisture here today. And then when it's sunny, and like that just really helps a lot with husbandry. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, in contrast, a moment. Picking up a female tarantula. All right, I was gonna show you guys a female tarantula in comparison. What they This is Saffron's sister. I just actually moved her housing over so we can get a look at her. She's a little grumpy right now. I was going to pick her up, but she is not wanting to move. See how she's lifting up those front legs? Just like, she's like, get away from me. She's threatening. She's giving us the threat display. Like that. Focus. Hopefully it'll focus for us. Okay, it's not really focusing that way. Yeah, there's the threat. It's like, my fangs are here and ready. Audio drops for you? Okay, cool. Now it's back. Okay, good. Thanks for that feedback. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe Fluffy would be happier if you moved to a treehouse. Totally. That's totally up Fluffy's alley. Yeah, I think that the transitions from forward camera to back camera are a little rough on Haps, but I'll give that feedback to the team so they are aware. Oops. Have you ever lost a tarantula pet in your house? No. But when I was in 3rd grade or elementary school, there was a classroom with a pet tarantula, and the tarantula escaped, and that got out. But I have not yet lost the tarantula. And wait, I have not, but Ramon did. And that tarantula was found later on the wall. It was an arboreal tarantula too, a pink-toed tarantula, which is a really pretty one that I recommend as a pet if you guys are looking for an arboreal pet tarantula. It's a really good, very docile one. You can just like pick it right up sometimes, and it's very chill. Oh yeah, Saffron, that's the regular tarantula. Yeah, the tricky thing about Saffron is that she made herself a burrow, and so this one is not, here, I'm gonna go on the move again. This one that I just showed you is not Saffron. She's Saffron's half sister. She's still all reared up. See that? See how elevated she is? Hi. I wouldn't dare touch her except for with something else. Hi. Yeah, she's not happy. I'll put this over here so she can go hide again if she wants to. All right, I put the lid back on too. Yeah, Saffron is over here, and it's just really hard to ever take out Saffron because Saffron dwells in her cave all the time. So you can sorry for the shaky camera. You can kind of see her. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get an angle so you can see her, but it's actually not very easy to. Okay, she's in here. She's in here. Here's her cage, and she is under there in the cave hideout that she excavated. So, hi Wesley, how are you doing? Whoops. Sorry. Apparently Issa has a thing for long hairy legs. Yeah, Fluffy is so hairy and fluffy. Those hairy legs, yep. All 8 of them. The more the better. Hi Peter, how's it going? Can a spider be lonely? It's a great question. They definitely prefer to be solitary. I think it's kind of like cats in a way. How cats tend to be solitary, right, Mika? Like they prefer to have their territory. So they're very territorial, and will come into conflict and may even fight if they conflict. Actually, one thing too with spiders is that it's very dangerous for males to approach the females because they could end up being lunch. It's funny how praying mantises have that reputation, but it's really a bigger issue with spiders. You're wonderful. Good. Yeah, a lot of tarantulas have burrows that they build underground, and it's just so cute. I've seen Saffron like get the bunches of soil in her pedipalps and take them out and drop them as she's built her burrow. How do you feed her if she's underground? So the fun thing is that I know when she's hungry because I see her out of her burrow. And so it's a cool sort of communication and understanding that When she's out of her burrow, I know that she's looking around for food, and that's when I know to give her her next cricket to eat. Yeah, and sometimes if she hasn't come out of her burrow, but I'm like, oh, like, you're making me nervous, Saffron, because you haven't eaten for 2 weeks, then I will just take some forceps and put a cricket or something by the entrance of her burrow, hoping that she'll eat it. And that's worked a couple times too. Thanks for the super heart, Terrence. Good to have you here. Hi, Peter. Hope you're well. Have I been bitten? Not by my tarantulas. I've been bit by one spider, and it was my fault because I was a little reckless in handling it. If I put Saffron and Fluffy together, they would fight. They would fight. I think that I don't know how the outcome would be. It also could be a situation where Fluffy runs away because Fluffy is arboreal, so maybe Fluffy would run up, but they'd probably fight. I'm guessing that Saffron would win because Saffron's bigger, but then again, Fluffy has more venomous, packs a punch with his venom, so I'm not totally sure, but yeah. But also, Fluffy is getting old for his age. Getting old, he's like, if he only lives 2 or 3 years, he's an old man now. Bug Lady, you make me interested in science like Cara Santa Maria. Who's that? I don't know who that is. Yeah, so for anyone who missed it earlier, I'm sexist. Oh, am I covering the mic? I'm biased and sexist, favoring female tarantulas as pets because they live longer. I just can't help it. Whenever I get a new baby tarantula, I really, really, really hope it's a girl. Since they can live to be like more than 20 years old. That's my hope for Saffron. Saffron and I are going to be friends for 25, 30 years. That's my hope. We're already 12 years strong. And the males only live to be, depending on the species, maybe 2, 3, maybe 8. If it's longer, like for Saffron species, they can live to be maybe 8 years old. But that's the Mexican red rump. So yeah, so I think I just answered your question, Lemon Minty, about the girls, which can live to be like a decade, maybe 20 years and more. Yeah, they can live for a long time. Do they rely on sound vibrations, or do they also smell their food? Or do they rely on sound vibrations only, or do they also smell their food? I think that they only rely on sound / vibrations. I think they only rely on sound / vibrations. That's my understanding. That's something I really haven't even looked into, but yeah, sound vibrations. When a politician gets exposed to spider venom, does it help or hurt them? Oh, I see. Spider-Man. Spider-Man? Is that what you mean? You're asking about Spider-Man? How Spider-Man is made? I've always dreamed of becoming Spider-Woman. Maybe it'll happen one day. Terrence says, I remember the day you did a scope at your friend's pool with a tarantula. Same spider? A pool. I'm not sure what broadcast you're talking about. I have done a lot of spider broadcasts. If you know which one that is, then send me the link. I'm curious. I did one a while back over in San Diego with a Argiope spider, but that's it so far. But yeah. All right. I'm going to go now, I think. But thanks, guys, for joining me to talk about spiders. It's a spider in the fish tank, John Roberts. And if you want to rewind, you can see the replay as we looked at some of the spiders here today. I better close up. Let's say bye to Fluffy. We can end by saying bye to Fluffy. We can see Fluffy's eyes now, too. So, bye, Fluffy. Oops. Bye, Fluffy. Thanks for joining us today. And I hope you're doing well and you live a long life. You can see the tiny little eyes right there. The eyes are right there. Don't want to get too close, but right there. Take care and see you. Bye, Hal. Thanks for joining today. Learning about plant galls. Very cool. I'll need to have you on the broadcast sometime if you're up for it, David, to talk about your entomological adventures. Okay. Bye. Thanks. You guys stay safe too. Take care. Until next time. Bye, David. Bye, everyone. Cheers.